Your old man has fallen from an airplane 128 times and once from a hot air balloon. Sprinted across a valley in Afghanistan with the 1st Infantry as bullets pew-pewed overhead, and accepted more rides with impaired drivers than I care to admit. I've been sent into wildfires and hurricanes, swam with sharks in Galapagos, been surrounded by grizzlies in Alaska, and once hid on the floor of a stalled car in Gaza as a convoy of Hamas fighters rolled by. In each of those moments, exhilaration flooded fear, and if I ignore the prices paid by the less dumb lucky around me, these memories feel like adventure. But my narrowest brushes with death came from the sudden change in the basic ingredients of life: oxygen and hydrogen, air and water. The most recent scare came in 2019 on the Italian island of Ischia, a few days before your mom and I checked into the Dubrovnik lighthouse of your provenance. "There's a little arch next to that hole in the rock," our captain said as he pointed to the shoreline cliffs. We'd hired his boat for a languid cruise, dropping anchor here and there in perfect little bays. "If you swim under it, you'll find an interesting grotto," he said. We dove in without masks, fins, or flotation. First mistake. Then, with a bloodstream full of boat drinks, second mistake, I did a 100-yard crawl toward the cliff face. Without checking to see if your mom was behind me, that's right, third mistake, I took one big breath and plunged into the first submerged passageway I could find. The entrance was about the length and width of a school bus, and swimming through, I thrilled with the thought of emerging into a magical cavern of shimmering light. But that idea turned to terror as my head bonked into the rock ceiling, inches above the waterline. Wrong grotto. I could try to breathe from the pocket of air between water and rock, but the waves were too choppy and the light too dim for me to judge the wisdom of that option. I pictured sucking a lungful of Mediterranean brine and began to panic with the realization that I would have to make it out on the same breath that brought me in. The cliché that life flashes before your eyes is a cliché for good reason. I joined the club that believes it as I watched a supercut of milestones and moments of banality, as I paddled furiously with one hand and clawed the wall with the other. Your mom, paddling in confusion, out in the sunlight. My mom, my dad, their divorce, my divorce, your sister at my funeral. Then my vision began to close, like looking through a paper towel tube, just like it did on that media flight with the Thunderbirds when the F-14 took a 9G turn and my blood was centrifuged into my legs, and at the end of the tube I saw Olivia hiking your old man's ashes up Mount Sopris and... I've never seen you so afraid,